6.5% user growth on Reddit. Retail media ad spend exploding 16% a year. And CTV, well, that's stealing 8 more minutes of our screen time every day. Does that sound like your 2025 marketing plan is about to age in dog years? Listen, right after this on-camera opener, you're going to hear an AI-narrated deep dive I built from the latest eMarketer data. And every insight is double-checked and hand-curated by me. And who am I? Well, I'm Alan Stafford, a marketing consultant, and this is Marketing Notes from the Binder, where we grow bold and go beyond theory. And in this episode, I'm translating the 2025 to 2027 fastest-growing digital segments report into 5 pain point fixes you can basically roll out into your ad mix, content plan, and even your e-commerce strategy this week. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you want daily jargon-free tactics. All right, so let's future-proof those margins.
You're listening because you're busy, right?
Yeah.
You need the essential marketing insights, not just theory, but stuff that actually works for your small business or e-commerce store.
Exactly. Welcome to our deep dive.
We take recent data, real-world experience like we apply at marketingbinder.com, and figure out what's crucial for you.
And today we're digging into the fastest growing digital segments 2025-2027 report from eMarketer. Basically understanding the shifts that'll impact your marketing and, importantly, how to tackle potential pain points.
Yeah, it's not just numbers. The report flags user growth on maybe some platforms you aren't focused on yet, like Reddit, Peacock for video, iHeartRadio for audio.
And also big jumps in time spent on connected TV, CTV. Plus, where the ad money's flowing, faster growth on Walmart, TikTok, Reddit again.
And retail media's rise. Specific e-comm categories booming. It's a lot.
It is. So our mission here is simple. Translate these big trends into actionable strategies, real solutions for your marketing challenges based on what we know works. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's kick off with digital user growth. The story here isn't just, the giants getting bigger. It seems mid-sized platforms are really picking up steam.
That's right. The report projects Reddit growing users about 6.5% annually over the next couple of years. Peacock for video is even higher at 7.4%, and iHeartRadio in audio at 4.2%.
So what's behind that? Is it just people looking for something different? And what's the opportunity for marketers?
Well, it could be a bit of fatigue with the massive platforms, maybe. People might be seeking out more niche communities, more focused content.
Like Reddit.
Exactly like Reddit. You find these super specific subreddits, right? Communities built around really narrow interests. That's gold if you want to reach a highly engaged, passionate audience related to what you sell.
Okay. And Peacock, just more streaming options.
Yeah, partly the continued shift to streaming, definitely. But it offers another specific place to potentially reach viewers, maybe with different demographics or content tastes than, say, Netflix or YouTube.
Interesting. And the iHeartRadio growth. You mentioned Spotify's user base is way bigger, but iHeart's growing faster. What's that about? Habits changing?
That's a great question. It could be that traditional radio brands adapting digitally still hold a lot of weight. Maybe their mix of live radio, podcasts, talk shows, it resonates differently.
So maybe tapping into that established brand loyalty.
Possibly. Or maybe it just attracts a different segment than the purely on-demand music platforms. For marketers, it just means don't ignore these growing audio channels if your audience might be there. Consider the mix.
All right, let's switch gears. Where are people actually spending their digital time? The report says digital video time is climbing, especially on connected TV, like an extra 8 minutes a day by 2026.
Yeah, that's a significant jump.
But time on social media and gaming, apparently that's kind of plateauing. So why the big move to CTV?
Well, it's probably more than just cutting the cord. People often want that, lean back experience on a bigger screen. Maybe less ad clutter compared to traditional TV sometimes. Higher quality video feel.
Okay, so for businesses, this shouts video, right?
Absolutely. Video content strategy is becoming non-negotiable. But, and this is important, it doesn't mean you need massive production budgets.
That's good to hear.
You can often repurpose existing videos, make shorter clips for CTV. The context is different. People might be more focused when watching on a TV screen.
So how does a small business actually advertise on CTV? Is it accessible?
It's becoming much more accessible. Platforms are offering better targeting demographics, interests, shopping behaviors, kind of like social media ads, but for the TV screen.
So you can actually reach specific audiences there.
You can. You need to think about how your brand fits into that viewing moment. Yeah, the tools are getting there. And while CTV is rising, we can't forget mobile.
Still king for overall time.
Still dominates overall digital time spent, according to the report. So mobile first thinking is still fundamental. Absolutely.
Got it. Okay, let's follow the money then. Ad spending shifts. The report shows retail media growing fastest, like 15.8% compound annual growth over 2 years, then CTV at 13%, and social networks still strong at 12.3%.
Yeah.
But the platforms seeing the fastest growth in ad spend are, Walmart at almost 22% CAGR.
Yep, Walmart Connect is booming.
Then TikTok closed behind at 21.3% and Reddit again at 20.5%. These numbers are pretty stark.
They really are. It tells you exactly where advertisers see the attention shifting, doesn't it? Ad dollars chase the eyeballs.
So retail media. Explain that a bit more. Ads inside Walmart.com, Amazon.
Exactly. Advertising right there on the digital shelf where people are actively browsing and ready to buy. If you sell products, this is massive because you're reaching people with super high purchase intent right at the decision point.
Makes sense. And the TikTok and Reddit ad growth just reinforces their influence.
Totally. Reaching specific demographics on TikTok, specific interest groups on Reddit, advertisers are clearly seeing the value there beyond just the sheer scale of, say, Meta or Google.
So speaking of Meta and Google, for years they've been the default for small businesses. Is this data saying maybe we need to rethink that reliance?
Rethink, yes. Replace, probably not entirely. They still have enormous reach. But these growth rates for Walmart Connect, TikTok, Reddit, they signal a massive opportunity to diversify your ad spend.
Diversify how, practically?
Well, maybe test Reddit ads for those niche communities we talked about. If you sell products, you have to look at Walmart Connect or Amazon ads. Use CTV for building brand awareness with that engaged, lean-back audience. It's about finding the right mix.
The right mix, not just sticking to the old playbook.
Precisely. Don't be afraid to experiment where the growth is happening.
Okay, shifting to e-commerce itself. Sales overall are growing steadily, about 8.4% CAGR, but the report highlights specific categories really taking off. Health and personal care and food and beverage. Both are on 8.6 to 8.8% growth.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It shows people are getting much more comfortable buying everyday essentials online. Convenience is winning out.
So, big opportunity if you're in those spaces, or can angle towards them.
Definitely. It signals a major shift in consumer behavior for those staple goods.
The other big e-com point. Marketplace sales are growing faster than direct-to-consumer sites, like 10.1% CAGR for marketplaces. And they're on track to become the biggest e-com channel.
Right. And look at the fastest growing e-com companies. Temu, Walmart, Shein.
So Temu's growth is huge, but the report mentions potential tariff issues down the line.
Yeah, that's a footnote, but an important one. It adds a layer of uncertainty for those super low-cost marketplaces reliant on certain supply chains. But the bigger picture...
The bigger picture seems to be that marketplaces are crucial.
Absolutely. It screams hybrid strategy. You need your own DTC site for brand building, customer data, loyalty. But you likely also need to be on relevant marketplaces like Amazon, Walmart, maybe others.
Because that's where many shoppers are starting their search.
Exactly. They have the built-in traffic, the trust, the infrastructure. You meet customers where they are. Ignoring marketplaces could mean missing a huge chunk of potential sales.
Okay, so we've unpacked user shifts, time spent, ad spend, e-commerce trends. Let's bring it all together. Thinking about the small business owner, the e-commerce marketer listening right now, what are the key pain points this data highlights, and what are some practical solutions drawing from that marketing binder experience?
Great question. This is where it gets really actionable. So, pain point 1, feeling like your ad budget is stuck on platforms like Meta or Google, and the returns just aren't what they used to be.
Yeah, hearing that a lot.
The solution, based on this data, seriously, consider reallocating maybe 10%, 20% of that budget. Test the waters with high-growth platforms. Put some into Reddit ads if you have a niche audience. Try Walmart Connect if you sell products. Experiment with CTV ads for brand building.
Okay, tangible step. What about social media feeling just overcrowded? Organic reach is basically dead for many.
Right. If you're feeling that fatigue, the solution is to pivot some effort towards these faster growing, maybe less saturated channels. Dive into relevant Reddit communities, but genuinely engage. Don't just spam.
Be part of the conversation.
Exactly. Offer value. An experiment with TikTok's short, snappy, authentic video is key there. It's a different muscle, but the potential reach is significant.
Video keeps coming up. But pain point. Producing video, especially decent quality for something like CTV, feels expensive and complicated for a small team.
It can feel that way, but solutions exist. 1, repurpose content you already have, blog posts, turn key points into short videos, customer testimonials, video clips.
Get creative with existing assets.
Yes. 2, explore some of the AI video tools out there now. They're getting surprisingly good for creating decent visuals without needing a film crew.
AI tools, interesting.
And 3, look into branded content sponsorships on platforms like Peacock. It might be more affordable than you think to integrate your brand into existing content.
Okay, next pain point. What if our direct-to-consumer, our own website sales, are flatlining while marketplaces are booming?
The solution is pretty clear from the data. Embrace the hybrid model. Don't abandon your DTC site. It's vital for your brand, but strategically expand onto relevant marketplaces.
So use marketplaces for reach and volume.
Exactly. Tap into their traffic, use their internal ad tools to boost visibility. Then use your DTC site for the deeper brand story, exclusives, loyalty programs, capturing that first-party data.
Makes sense. How about audio? Often feels underutilized. With iHeartRadio growing, is there a real opportunity there?
I think so. Solution. Explore advertising on niche podcasts your target audience actually listens to. The engagement there can be incredibly high.
Podcast ads.
Or consider creating your own simple, valuable audio content. Maybe short tips related to your industry. A branded podcast doesn't have to be a huge production. Even programmatic audio ads could be worth testing.
Right. Okay. A classic challenge. Tracking results on newer platforms. Attribution is tough. How do we know if spending on, say, Reddit or TikTok is actually working?
Crucial point, solution discipline tracking. First, use UTM parameters religiously on all your links, everywhere. That tells your analytics where traffic comes from.
DM's got it.
Second, look into multi-touch attribution models if your analytics platform supports them. See how different channels contribute along the path to conversion, not just the last click.
Understand the whole journey.
And third, don't forget first-party data. Ask customers. Simple surveys, post-purchase questions. How did you hear about us? It sounds basic, but it's valuable.
Good reminder. Okay, last one. This uncertainty around global players like Temu and potential tariffs. What should businesses do?
The solution here is about agility and resilience. 1, diversify your sourcing if possible. Don't rely entirely on one region if you can help it.
Spread the risk.
2, stay informed on trade issues and be ready to adjust pricing if needed. And 3, perhaps most importantly, double down on building your brand trust and quality. That's your defense against purely price-driven competitors.
And the point about essential goods.
Oh yeah, bonus opportunity. If your products fit into health, personal care, food, beverages, or can be positioned as essential, lean into that. Emphasize reliability, convenience, value in your messaging. Now's the time.
Wow. Okay. So bringing this all home, this deep dive into the eMarketer data, looking through that practicalmarketingbinder.com lens, it really highlights some key shifts.
Definitely. The rise of those mid-sized platforms, the undeniable dominance of video, especially CTV.
The boom in retail media, the growth of ad platforms like Walmart, TikTok, Reddit, and this need for a hybrid e-commerce strategy.
And crucially for everyone listening, we've laid out some practical, actionable solutions drawn from real-world experience to tackle those common pain points.
Things like reallocating ad spend, exploring less crowded channels, finding smarter ways to do video, embracing marketplaces, testing audio, getting serious about tracking.
And navigating that global uncertainty by focusing on brand and diversification. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're steps you can take.
So the final thought for you listening, looking at all these trends, these opportunities, which one feels like the biggest untapped potential for your business right now?
Where could you make a move that takes you beyond your current comfort zone?
It really is time to, as we say at marketingbinder.com, grow bold and go beyond. Explore these new avenues. The data suggests that's where the growth lies.
Absolutely.
And of course, for more practical marketing insights designed to deliver results, you can always visit marketingbinder.com.
All right, and we're back on camera. The AI handled basically the heavy lifting. Now let me wrap it up into a quick fire action list you can actually begin using today. Mid-sized platforms like Reddit and Peacock are where fresh attention lives, and that's where you want to turn your marketing efforts. CTV isn't optional anymore, folks. It's affordable and it's targeted TV. And retail media and Walmart Connect are the new ROAS darlings on the scene here. Marketplaces plus direct-to-consumer equals the hybrid model that survives turbulence. And track everything with UTMs and first-party surveys. Flying blind, folks, Well, that's not a strategy, and it's never been one. If one of these hit a nerve, drop it in the comments. I read every single comment. And if you got value today, smash the like, share it forward, and help another fellow marketer. And if you need deeper, no-fluff guides and weekly strategy gems, join the Marketing Binder Insiders email newsletter. Links right there in the description. And until next time, grow bold, go beyond, and keep those marketing notes handy.